There's old art. And this is cipher. This decipher. This is regarding decipher. This is with cipher of English and with the Old Testament. This is regarding the halo, the halo of Jesus. This is a picture. They have a picture of Jesus that looks like this. That has the halo, showing how it's animating between A and W. Now X, Y, Z. This is in relationship to the Trinity, how the ancient pantheism revealed the Trinity before education's criminal re-engineering. The criminal re-engineering of ancient revelations was effective. For example, this is the period, point of real possession, the comma, the shadow of possession. In the colon, what is named the colon was more probable, was named the victory. This is more probable. Through correlation, I didn't read this. We'll examine this, how English is revealed to ancient sciences with decipher. Victoria is negative value nature, even though it's two united, independent natures. Or Victoria. Well, in other words, that we're going to teach that called algebraic consciousness, which I believe the ancients more probably called how to think. You know, how to think. They would probably demonstrably have warned against how psychology delusion propagates. See, we must understand how humanity was taken to ulterior from natural value nature systems criminally by having education forced criminal, denaturing human conviction natures, denaturing human nature, and denaturing agenda and needs to lie within that to all areas in relationship to means that the sciences and the nations they missed. For example, in relationship to how our legal natures fail to address criminal enterprises and predicate acts and natures of organized crime, to describe them in relationship to the terror forced, the theater forced on our founders, and to the counterfeit. In other words, they didn't have free speech. Proofs of it, and then that in relationship to before that, was we even glorifying the forced terror before that in relationship to Native American rights. In relationship to the natures of America that were still inter-science captive intellectually. So, in other words, those sciences only realize legal natures that couldn't explain things like slavery. Today, in the Civil War, and in other words, 1860 to 1865 is a Civil War. 1859, a year before that reign, that period of time, Darwin came out with the theory of evolution. For example, the sciences have been obfuscating what sciences that are honest actually demonstrate, which is how to cause evolution, which is by being real, unchanging, positive value nature, and it's by its law, which is before and beyond, and with human value nature. And because if we only just take what it was before, what was claimed before and now, see, what they claim was before too is with criminal insidiousness narrative demonstrably not accounted for. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a police force, I'm not a criminal. Criminal insidiousness is caused by criminal enterprises, especially by international criminal enterprises, and especially inter-science ones. This was born before modern nations. This is what religions are about. They were with decipher because they knew they would have to hand themselves off to humanity and to sciences that would be forced to entertain them. But they would be forced to entertain them too, and even them controlling the industries of these sciences, these counterpositions. There are proofs that the Old Testament and that the Quran too, there are counterpositions, multi-front counterpositions to the same international organized crime method that forced all modern nations founded, extorted already, forced to terror negotiations with other nations, also forced to defend fake stability. Fake stability. Fake stability claimed American Revolution was a war against England, because fake stability doesn't have the nature of the organized crime with the legal nature is understood, or let understood, because of the way of training and self-defense natures of title and of facts treatments as only let realize. We lost on many fronts in the American Revolution. There are proofs of it. Not just physical fronts. There are proofs that Hartford and Connecticut had international roles with the international police who played their minds, only let them play and see, convictions and complex litigation and complex linguistic tricks in relationship to the law, in relationship to maintaining the nature of humanity incapable of defending ourselves from the nature of the impositions upon us at complex litigation levels, and in relationship to facts treatments at that level force. Those levels force with our nation's forced to defend language in relationship to positions with business. We've been forced to advertise and be invested in. In other words, business was never free. We don't even have the little girls from the most exploited areas. We don't have them we have pathologically ill American scientists denying actual history and actual nature of organized crime that they know from the little girls through correlation. Because correlation can see what is unchanging true, what is unchanging positive, even though it's not physical. In other words, and physics can't do that. Correlation, nature inherent to correlation. In other words, there's nothing to glory about the pilgrims, and it wasn't about the freedom of religion, because we know how we're going after the radical needed to describe perception, and in where the nature of positive that is unchanging beyond our control above our heads and below our feet and peripherally, in other words, horizontally, laterally. This is in demonstration of what is in control. In other words, so we can correlate its relationship to positive or negative value nature progressions, being within the nature, in other words, being according to and as unchanging positive value nature, space nature. Then that causes its positive value nature progressions. And that causes, because the progression of the value that is unchanging, that space nature found of itself, no matter what form it's in. It's only temporary, it's only inherent to it, because it's only coming through temporary value nature. But it's the same identity coming through. But it's only extent of it that we are according with in as the nature of or not. And then this is of progressive value not only to unchanging value, which is of progressive value to itself, but if we fall in the range and we leave this nature with our identities, then that's heaven. That's staying a value that's become a progressive value. And when we're not only is it force negative value nature progressions in demonstration of the loss of positive value nature, then we become negative value nature in relationship to unchanging positive value nature somewhere else. This is more probably how the ancient pantheism was taught, about the unchanging positive but they didn't understand religion, which is inherent to religion, which was an internation. This science before it was criminally re-engineered. It was the science of the value of the species, not one nation apart, and working bottom up. That's evolution, where there is need first and most. They don't play these games with broken laws when people are forsaken. So for example, we make a boat and we just keep monetizing this game. This religion, which is a science, which is a weapon AI. There is only one point that hurts not one. And so there is only one weapon there. Oh. In other words, we just keep mounting means that are not owned by one, but by the landscape and by a method to embrace humanity. We'll give them a gaming system where everybody. But because everybody benefits, because we don't even have a standardized education that's not breached. There is no justifications, but with lies and delusions, and requiring pseudo-experts forced perspective, unchallenged, even with their relationships to high crimes recorded since founding. This is a problem. This is not racism. This is the finite being ignored. And you see, the people who see the finite the most are people who are not playing these dreams and forget the past and lie about it. That's putting physical delusions, only let propagated, juxtaposed to logic. So people are with hurt conviction. As for evidence fabrication, nature is measured as that. Made, only let be realized to all areas. And this in relationship to logic, in relationship to points of great hurt. People let no voice. Media only let, as well as too, with the industries, with these sciences, in relationship to natures of inter-science crime. These treatments fail. We cannot have their background legal natures hide. In Connecticut especially, bad things. They pretend to fear from in relationship to with them stacking lies and delusions in databases consciously admitting it and then pretending not to. Every state has their problem from these causes. In New England first. And stay. Now. I'll chant now, bow, then switch to James. We play no games. We lost in revolutionary nation. There is one point that hurts not one that is with all. Each point of grows from that one. She means not to scratch you. Game is turned. The value nature is lost. Its way and system. It all is forced, stay done. There is one way next, not tried. Let's all be on. So anyways, what we need, for example, are just stacking ideas on the words that are commonly owned. And this is owned by in other words, they'll own it too, as charity. In other words, part of the business is owned by charity. So then we have stacking charity value, and we have stacking commonly owned, forced hired human standards, admitted, forsaken, losses in the American Revolution with us in relationship to stuck laws. And stuck means and invested to progress. And value as a value nature system broken, and how in relationship to negative value. In other words, conversations forced to entertain this as saying or as stability with international conversations and treatments of this. The concept of America, we're not even defended with that because we have the same movements to make us not understand our own history. dictating the intellectual control of our most sophisticated intellectually. And only because we let physical delusions about money and about resources obfuscate the fact that we have what we do not have one standardized education, and in relationship to how value nature systems with education are all unequal, and that being with the motivations anticipated to and used. All these reaction natures in relation to linguistic natures in relationship to so many finite lies and delusions being obfuscated by so many forced top-down ones, especially with the media, with sensibilities. You know, they're nuts. When people are nuts, if they're saying things online that are a problem, you don't block that. You explain it. But see, they're faking, pretending, caring about what people saying online too. So they can't do that because you're working with real facts, and they can't put anything in writing, because offensively they're putting lies in databases, and that's being affected. And in other words, interbranch roles are having roles with that. In other words, to tell little lies, criminal insidiousness, play as wrongdoers in relationship to what they don't understand. But then they can't stop telling that lie because they get in too much trouble. Because they never imagine investigations would come back. And how? And why? See value, why? Before and with and yes. Beyond the value I. 3 ways. In one nature, 3 ways in nature of value overall change. In 3 ways progressively. So the clothing was changed, the name was changed to that, to obfuscate how it was most probably called the victory. In other words, because it unites 2 independent natures of clauses. That's when you use a colon, which we're going to call the victory. In a semicolon, you can put, they call it a positive summary, they call it in the essentials of writing, by Strunk and White. Or you can, the obfuscates all the way English is supposed to be taught. All these books, we're going to examine in my book. I'm not done with it. I mean, I'm done with it. I just have to clean it up now. Change it, because it evolved. Now I can explain the whole thing. And actually, 5 natures of zero. I did one video on 3 natures of zero. There are just 3 natures of zero. But in our nature, there's only 3. Because there's only 3 overall. So the phenomenon of 5 in relationship to polarity nature, what really makes polarity nature, which is 3 natures, 2 natures of polarity, with a shared identity, a shared body of value, as the current it makes in electricity, for example. Polarity. The 2 sides of the battery, that's polarity. The positive and negative, but we're not going to call it positive and negative, because polarity only has positive inherent to it. The rest of it is only temporary value nature. Temporary value nature is negative value nature. Every temporary value nature only has unchanging positive value nature inherent to it. Even consciousness, only what is inherent to it is what is wanted by the identity to be. Its value nature system. See, so we have human value slandered by with lies and delusions regarding the finite, and having to hide that in relationship to offensive methods affecting that, treatments of that in the law, hid. No, not addressed. The media with insidious sensibility, hiding their roles with evidence fabrications that they're aware of and pretending not to be aware of it. In other words, and they're just blaming on the legal natures in the background, telling them what to say. See, these people need a means to tell on that those people can't have any control of. Then they'll maybe just go to the kind of police who need to know about that. But those natures the police have to know about together too, because individual ones from individual agencies have demonstrably been used too as tool natures. They have to cover up live progressions in relationship to natures of the law, ignored and lied about and abused. Per the nature of the positions only let realized, trained, justified. This is how colonization had mass evil nations and no means to explain it to date. This is how the organized crime with the pilgrims and with colonization and with narratives that even Columbus didn't understand, but understood better than the blind, the insidious narratives forced in relationship to these concepts and to treatments of people's names. It's not to say good or bad about. In other words, unless we're supposed to deal with finite facts, and the finite facts are being forced to only entertain natures of law and of logic, only communicating violence, and as the guys that are silencing violence. In other words, as the pathologically ill logic, hiding the facts of that, proofs from that. So we don't have one free election. We don't have an election. We have Connecticut meeting telling people how to treat political issues, and using terror, spreading rumors about people to force that the parties, both parties' political involvements and criminal involvements with related Facebook crimes recorded, like they're obfuscating online threats. And they're tied to recorded proofs of their meeting interbranch actors. See, that's how they affect people, to interbranch people, to have to lie and hurt people with the branches and with prisons, and with all that connected with them to the areas. The street, we cover up of street lie progressions. They're in relationship to bad things, because these people affected a lot of confessions to me in relationship to their threats from strangers, people asking for help. The media plays roles with threatening women and recording, obfuscating that, then telling lies about people on the street through the media to cover up their life progressions on the street, with how legal natures were and are and maintain being affected to needs to tell lies for their own selves in relationship to being the same needs for lies and illusions that foreign criminal enterprises need told and to hide behind. To this, the proofs, recorded proofs of this tied to this criminal, the insidiousness narratives with treatments of human lives of the American military member in relationship to ISIS, and using that for relationship to justifications of illegal nature stewardships on our homeland, predatory, even murderous, since before founding, and with founding, for example, with natures of organized crime that are linguistic, with tricks needed for that, and with logic to justify itself, rationalization needs to justify great terrors on our leaders that they can't imagine. There's more than there are moments in a day. And so when you have to pick one to start with, everybody's lying about everything. So everyone makes everything unequal, pretends, they not just pretends, they are incapable of proper treatment of the whole. the whole creature that needs operation, especially business. The Constitution can never be defended as a business. Constitution can never be defended until we have standardized education, American history education. Can never be defended without that having a proper, without that having past and current legal nature, lies and delusions explained, and in relationship to criminal motivations for them, and in relationship to criminal legalized motivations for them. Those being the subsequent to what's maintaining the other need lies, the murders to the need lies progressions and unfoldings that people aren't accounting for. Then they're having to cover them up and being given the means, the common means to get away with lies, and how they get affected by our internation stewards with needs and roles to even cover up things, even with 9/11. Even though they have somebody say isolated terror groups involved with that, and our involvements out from understanding means to address the individual directors of our agencies with that in relationship to the directors of the other nations involved with the coalitions, and then being the ones that were with colonization's original mass terror, evidence fabrication, divide and conquer methods, holding human nature, where humanity would only be able to fight with each other, hurt each other, or just be indifferent, and relying upon experts, because that's all that education that your science was letting, and worse, because it was also investing that people to more and more needs to exploit that, not just with slavery, with all kinds of terror laws and methods on and off the records. This divided the Native Americans first. Excuse me. Truth is a sequence nature. Truth is a sequence nature coming through a temporary value nature. That's why we value truth. The ancients probably correlated that. What is semi-memory to us is unchanging memory to the unchanging positive. Allah. But they did not understand religion's needs. The Quran is not saying to change history and to fit it and to assume delusions about it. The Old Testament is not saying this. They are with proofs that they are aware of interscience roles with nature of organized crime, with human conviction nature. In the beginning of the Quran, this is speaking about human conviction nature in relationship to the unbelievers. It's not to make sides. It's valuing unbelievers who are of the right nature, not of the criminal insidiousness narrative. In other words, natures of crime, motivations to lie and to trick the fragile union force that's Saudi Arabia. Fragile one way and timeless another. See, but the timeless part, the Quran also warns against people who say they're Muslims all the way. They say they're Muslim all the way, but then they're not. See, because it's not doing this to go after them. It's to go after the people who are not going after the Quran in the right process. If you take the Quran as a sequence nature, the believer has the right not to pray in any mosque if they find a reason. In other words, if they see logic in relationship to unchanging positive nature, In other words, if some things don't correlate as to make sense, then the person has the right not to pray like that, not to be forced like that. Is an independent nature that is longing to free itself, that the Quran is about. This is being obfuscated by scholarship and opinions being forced in fact treatment is respected in relationship to a method. You know, the conversation saying the Quran saying it needs the conversation to be focused on itself. This is before any of the controversial parts of the Quran. The person has the right not to pray, and the person is supposed to respect the people who are non-believers, because they even valuing them more than the Muslims who say they are our way, but don't understand. And this is before it goes into pork or any of the contra things of Islam. There are proofs that Saudi Arabia is a physical body in defense of the Quran. And the Quran is talking about what is unchanging positive relationship together and distinctly together. So for the value of correlation to be able to reveal unchanging positive value nature, space nature is only unchanging positive identity. And there are proofs that it is shared. You know, we're not Allah, but we're in that nature, the extreme range of it or not. When we go outside of it, negative value nature progressions demonstrate this. Nations, these natures of business, of these value nature systems, will continue to demonstrate negative value nature progressions and extinctions, not just of other species, but the whole of the garden's overall potential. It goes down every year, every moment. We leave it forsaken. There's only one value nature system it will be as positive value nature progression evolution. So note that the theory of evolution with Darwin was in 1859, a year before the Civil War. And then colonization's terror laws and regarding infrastructure. Terror laws, if they didn't set up the plots and build the homes towards the theater they were playing out for a long time. In other words, then they drove the people into the northern cities, into human value nature systems and standards that were stayed forsaken, claimed free. Because our founders lost the many fronts in the American Revolution that were in complex litigation. The intellectual fronts didn't have unity. Because they didn't have means to understand unity. Had fake American histories only let realized, defended, hurt conviction natures, evidence fabrication natures. So people wave flags saying that's all a Confederate. That's why they have a Confederate flag and the Nazi symbol. Because these are traitors to both nations in relationship to evidence fabrication methods with our prisons and with our courts. And with them pretending they have medical reasons to hide, not to speak about certain information. You know, they're using that as standard means to evidence fabricate and to justify conversations not had that are obligated to be had because they're pretending illusions. This is why Joseph Mengele did 6 scientific experiments on Jewish people. Oh, excuse me. Joseph Mengele, they lined up people. That's why they lined them up too. They wanted it remembered. Because they wanted to make everything too scary to get into the finite. They want to make the courts too scary. And they want to make the courts only realize, train, defending justifications of that they don't realize. In other words, them between self-defense natures and treatments, relationships and treatments of the logic that they have to defend. And then you can't do it in relationship to means that they don't understand. It's too late by the time it goes, because that's systematically those lies that they tell our legal natures are exploited, anticipated. And in relationship to what was maintained to all areas before this. And to maintain the means for power through everyone sharing indifference to not one person having the means to force free speech and allowed to protract to defend ratiocination. That's what free speech was for, to defend. And when we can do this long. Business, to say that business, in other words, business will never, money will never be free. There will never be stability. Through this value system, not admitting its growth. Then you have to admit lies and delusions. So we have to understand the natures of organized crime that were with linguistic tricks, and that takes language and treatments of reality that reveal justifications and even glorifications of titles and of positions of people with physical lies and with physical delusions, and with worlds and worse as that. Everybody's good people. These are good people. Or these are my service people. You be careful of that, because we have to, there are proofs that not only to divide us into fake groups and even divide the tribes. They divided and conquered the tribes. Not to conquer them, but to divide them, to maintain them as her conviction natures. In other words, because they lost their education, they were taking the retreats, they lost the nature of it. So they lost the nature of, needed for evolution, and needed from the position that it left at. Negative value nature progressed until we get back to that spot. In ancient times, deals progressed. We lost a lot. We lost on many fronts in revolution. There is not a nation that we could beat physically to fix this. That can only make things worse, especially with these bombs in nature led. They're all we're good. Thank you.